Hello everybody, welcome back to a World of Warships Blitz video. This video is not a game replay, it is not a review or a strategy guide, this is not a top 10 either, it's a top 5. This is a top 5 most improved damage ratio. So this is the number of ships that you sink compared with the number of times that you were sunk. And what I'm looking at here is only those battles I've played since my snapshot I made in March. So this is my recent performance. So this compares essentially the old destruction ratio and the new destruction ratio after just only counting the new battles, if that makes sense. So it's not the old destruction ratio and the new one, because I've played so many battles in some of these ships that that's not going to be changing anytime soon. But essentially it's a measure to say that previously I had a destruction ratio, let's start with this ship, the Feejee, of 1.56, which is pretty good. So essentially for every 3 ships I was sunk twice, pretty close. Since then I've played 39 games in that. Well actually since then I've played 28 games in that, my apologies. And I have sunk 39 ships and been sunk only 14 times. So that means that the damage ratio is 2.79, which is a lift of 1.23 over where it was. And the reason for that is that I'm getting much better at using smoke, much better at shooting, staying in range, and much better at not charging out. So it is number 5 in the improved destruction ratio. Number 4 was a little bit of a surprise because I didn't think I'd actually played it that much, but there you go. I must have been trying, this must have at one point been one of my blitz ships where if I have a blitz and try and get wins, I pick a ship that I think I can get a lot of wins in. So previously this had a destruction ratio of 1.22. I've played 31 battles in it, and it has a new destruction ratio of 2.77. So that is a 1.55 increase in destruction ratio. And I can't really explain that. I suspect that that's just, maybe it's got a bad tale of original games that I had with it. But I certainly can't explain that size of a lift in the ship, to be honest. That does surprise me a little bit. But I can explain number 3. Number 3 is, let me go back, and the emerald. So my previous destruction ratio was 1.1. So for every 11 ships that I was sunk 10 times. I've done very well in this. I've played 29 games in it, and I think it may be, the purpose will probably be something more like, getting victories for the Blitz. 29 games. In those 29 games, I have sunk 36 ships and only been sunk 12 times. So that is a 3.0 destruction ratio, a lift of 1.9, nearly 2. So that is a massive improvement. Very significant, and yes, the captain for that is now the captain I'm using training up for the Warspite, because I'd never really picked any of the skills, and I don't mind if the Emerald has a captain that has some weird battleship skills. But the Warspite, interestingly enough, is also number 2. So this had a 1.18 destruction ratio, and since then I've played 28 games in it. Sunk 34 ships, been sunk 9 times for a 3.78 destruction ratio. That is a lift of 2.5, basically. Massive improvement. And that's really because it's also one of my most improved ships. If you watch that video, you'll see that it's it ends up in the top 5 there. However, it is not number 1. Number 1 is probably shamefully enough, because really using this ship is seal clubbing. Anyway, because this already was my top performing destruction ratio ship, the Mikasa. So that used to have a destruction ratio of 5.04. And since then I've played 27 games, sunk 72 ships, and only been sunk 8 times for a new destruction ratio of 9.0, which for a high destruction ratio is only a change of around about 3.96. So this is my ship that I have my biggest destruction ratio increase in, and I suspect that I can put that down to better survival in tier 2/3 games. There will be no change to its destruction ratio if it is in a ship with tier 1 ships. I can tell you it'll be the tier 2s and 3s that will have made the difference, because in the tier 1s and 2s this ship just slaughters things. It really is a ship that I use for battle medals. So if I have a certain number of battle medals to get, I hop out in the Mikasa and I get them, and I get them fast. This ship is, well, overpowered in the wrong hands. And just in case you think things couldn't get worse, that destruction ratio will go up because my Congo captain, who is the captain I use in this ship, is 1 level away from improved secondaries. And once he has that, and the secondaries of this thing become, let's go find that captain. Once the secondaries on this thing become 15% more accurate, that destruction ratio will rise, I'm certain. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed that video, found it entertaining, maybe a little bit concerning at the end, but thanks for watching, and we'll catch you next time.